NBC7 News at 6 starts now.
Many of us are actually dealing with a lot of lingering symptoms, and that recovered doesn't necessarily mean that we had just a cold and we're okay.
New at 6, many people who become infected with the coronavirus face a long journey towards recovery. This according not only to research published by the CDC, but also the numerous survivors still struggling for months after infection. Good evening. Thanks for being here. I'm Mark Mullen.
I'm Catherine Garcia. Tonight we are hearing from 3 women who are COVID-19 survivors. They say their lives have changed forever. Young women who are struggling every day. They are part of a survivor group, which helps them deal with the complications of the virus. We want to let you hear from them in their own words.
I'm Katrina Webb.
My name is Jenica Harris.
I'm Mackenzie, and I'm a COVID survivor.
I'm a COVID survivor.
I'm a COVID-19 survivor.
I was a single mom to a wonderful 9-year-old.
I would work out, lift weights, take long walks, travel.
I graduated from UCSD. I like to go to the beach, hike, surf. I like music festivals.
We went to Disneyland about a week before there was a huge spike. About 6 days later, after we spent 3 days at Disneyland, my daughter started to feel sick, and then I started to feel sick.
My husband is a commercial airline pilot, and he was on reserves and got called in. And he went to Mexico for one night, came back. He didn't eat out, he didn't leave his room, just stayed in his hotel room, got back. Within 5 to 6 days, I started showing symptoms, and so did my 10-year-old daughter.
I went to a music festival on March 7th, and then I tested positive on March 16th. So I would assume that would be where I got it.
I was sick, like very, very sick for about 8 weeks, and then I've had the after effect symptoms since then.
I can't do everyday activities, washing dishes, cooking, cleaning.
I was extremely fatigued. I had a migraine for maybe like 3 weeks straight. I still get migraines. I was having chest pain maybe for 2 months.
It's gotten to the point where it's been difficult to care for myself.
For many months, I couldn't even hold my son, who was about 6.5, 7 months at the time. When I finally came downstairs with the family, I would try to hold him when I had strength, and he didn't want me anymore. And it was pretty devastating.
So my daughter's up with my grandma now, just because it was too much for her to stay in the house with me when I wasn't able to really do the things that you're supposed to do as a parent.
2 months after my initial symptoms, I started experiencing a lot of abdominal pain. And I was looking on Reddit, I was looking everywhere for information, no one knew anything. Talked to my doctor, he said, it's just anxiety. I'm like, but it's my abdomen, it's not in my anxiety.
Because this isn't in the medical books, they say nothing will cause brain fog and swelling of the feet, so it must just be anxiety or loneliness or something. It's just all in my head.
Stomach ulcers, acetaminophen.
The news talks about hospitalized, deaths, recovered. And in that number that says recovered, they don't know what's going on at home and what recovered really looks like. Because every single day is a challenge.
And these are vitamins. And then also I have an inhaler, but I didn't bring that with me. And this is what I take every single day.
There was one day I was taking my trash down, and I was halfway up my stairs to my apartment, which I've lived in for 6 years. And nothing looked familiar. I didn't know where I was. I knew I was trying to go home, but I didn't know where home was, and it only lasted for a minute or two.
Oh, it's very consuming. It's like every day, it's something surrounding COVID. This is how I feel. I have this ache, I have this pain, joint pain, headache, brain fog. I lose my train of thought. I lose the words that I'm trying to find. I'm forgetful, shortness of breath.
I'm 23 years old. I feel really unhealthy for my age. I feel like a lot of people, my age are still acting as life is normal. I mean, not that everything's open, but they are acting like, they're, immune to any of the really bad effects.
I am terrified that this is going to be permanent. And the amount of research that's coming out about long haulers is just starting.
Every single day I wake up thinking, is today going to be a good day or a bad day? There's So many of us are actually dealing with a lot of lingering symptoms.
So I'm in Survivor Corps, which is wonderful because they're reaching out to the doctors, they're doing the surveys, they're kind of pushing the doctors to look at us.
It's wonderful.
There's a bunch of people going through what I'm going through, and I thought I was alone in all these weird symptoms that I've been experiencing.
It's nice to see other people come together and support each other, ask questions.
We're kind of on the front lines of discovering what this is, and it's really comforting to have a bunch of people who are in your corner who are like, no, you're not just stressed and crazy.
I have a lot of people that I know that have been still going out to bars or going out to restaurants.
And please wear your mask, social distance. That party is not worth it. Going to a friend's house is not worth it. While you may not get severely ill, you can have a mild case and get really sick, and your life will be changed, and you don't know if you'll ever get it back.
Please, please, please just take it seriously. If we all just commit to wearing a mask for a month, we can really just stop this from spreading. And people wouldn't have to suffer like me. I don't want anyone to go through what I'm going through.
Stay inside, wear a mask, don't expose your family.
I go back through my pictures, my photo albums, and I look at who I was and what my body was before, and my family, and how happy we were. And I sometimes wish that we can go back in time and skip this entire year.
I mean, a couple things, Mark. First of all, thank you to these ladies for coming forward and telling their stories, right? Secondly, a reminder of how little we truly know about this virus and its long-term impacts. And just to pass along a message from them, they say they don't want to be alarmists. They just want people to really know the real complications that people can face even after you might think that fight with COVID-19 is over.
Right. And for that matter, they also say they hope that all of their really powerful stories will cut through all of the politics and all of the debates surrounding COVID-19 and help others, as we heard them say so wonderfully, that everybody takes this seriously. Thanks so much for doing that. Very powerful.